Hi everyone, I'm Chauncey Nebula, and today let's talk more about kit bashing. So, I posted a video about a week ago talking about turning scale model kits into an orc army, specifically a flyboys army. And I said that the next video would be kit bashing one of the jets. And here we are. So I decided to kit bash a Burna-Bommer first. I don't really know why. I had an idea for something to do for a Burna-Bomber, so I did it. And if I reach over here to my painting desk, here we are. Now, I'm going to show some close-ups here so you're able to see it a little bit better, but what I did essentially was take a hull from a USS Arizona kit and then put like a Peterbilt, truck cab on it and some B-25 wings. The wings are actually inverted, and I cut them off in the back to make them jets, and a B-25 tail, and some P-51 Mustang wings for these kind of maneuverings, and then just kind of threw some stuff on there. Now, I did make it so that you can put the optional stuff on, specifically the Scorcher Missiles. I took little rocket launchers from some Astra Militarum heavy weapons teams that I wasn't going to use, and I magnetized the model to where I can put them on the front, and there I've got the Scorcher Missiles. On the bottom, I have actually placed 2 bombs, because you can carry 2 bombs. I do have the 2 Super Shooters. These are Astra Militarum heavy weapon team autocannons. And then you've got the twin big shooter on the back, which I kit bashed out of one of the gun emplacements on a USS Arizona, and then put a unused Necron Gauss Reaper in there, because when I built my Indominus box set, I built them all as flares, not as Reapers, because I just personally prefer the flares. So I'm going to show a little time lapse here of doing the kit bash, and you'll notice that the camera view isn't that great because it's surprisingly hard to have the camera be in a great spot and also be able to work on something of this size. But essentially what I did was I started out just with the fuselage, and then, it took a little bit of time to get the pieces glued together for this USS Arizona hull. And then from there, went on to do the cockpit, and then worked on the wings, and I kind of just hopped around a little bit, because as the glue is drying in one place, I want to work on something else, and sometimes I get an idea for what to do for one thing, and so I want to work on it. It wasn't necessarily the most orderly of processes, but it was very orc-like. Now, if you look at the model, it has a lot of stuff on it. I've got like a custom force field projector, I've got, a random smokestack. I did try to orc it up a little bit because I realized that it was becoming a little too clean looking. So I tried to just kind of shove stuff on there to make it look a little bit more haphazard. But I still wanted it to look fairly like aerodynamic, by orc standards. And I think I managed to do that. But the one thing I haven't done is I have not attached this to the flying base. I have cut a place in the bottom here where I can put the flying base, but I'm thinking I might want to try to magnetize it, but I don't really know a good way of magnetizing it such that it won't really turn a lot. So I might just glue it on the base, but because the wingspan is rather large, like this ends up being a rather large kit bash, I don't know if I can really realistically store it with the flying stand on. Now, I will say that kit bashing this was a ton of fun. Does this look like the most, orc thing in the world? No, it doesn't. But the idea was to have kind of retro orcs, World War II orcs. These orcs that kind of have an unusual taste in machinery. So for the flyers, I really went in with the World War II theme, and I will be maybe turning in some muscle car kits into a couple DACA jets, but I'm still gonna make them look maybe a little more World War II-esque with the wings and so on. Now, this isn't painted. I'm gonna wait until I have the whole force built before I paint it. I'm just gonna set this down. But when I do paint it, I want to try to make it look maybe a little more orc-like, maybe some more mismatched paint colors. But we're going to have to wait and see what I'm going to do for the paint until I've got the whole army kit bash, because I want to look at the whole thing and decide on the aesthetic then. Now, I fully recognize for that I know there's at least one of you out there who's thinking this, but don't Burna-Bombers generally want to just charge forward and then auto-explode? And yes, while that is maybe what some people do, I still went into the kit bash saying I'm just going to build a kit that looks good, and maybe it gets taken off the table immediately, but at least it'll look good while I'm setting it up. And for those of you who might say, well, that doesn't look like the most orc thing I've seen, it looks kind of tame for orcs. Yes, maybe. But then again, I've never been a big fan of the whole, cut up plastic art and, layer on different panels and stuff. That whole orc look where it looks a little too ramshackle for me, if that makes sense. I do tend to like cleaner aesthetics, and I feel like what I've done with this model, I've kind of bridged the two gaps. It looks both slightly haphazard and kind of cobbled together, but it also looks like it was put together by someone who maybe knows a little bit more what they're doing. Now, the next thing we're going to kit bash, I'm thinking will be a DACA jet. I'm not going to go through and do all the Burna-Bombers and then all the WASBomb Blast-jets and then all the DACA jets and so on. I'm probably going to do a DACA jet next. But I'm kind of torn between that and kit bashing a big mech with a custom force field, because that does sound kind of cool. But I will decide on one, and let's be honest, it'll probably be the DACA jet. It's going to realistically be the DACA jet, because I like jets. Now, I know this video is maybe a little short, but I am going to do a longer video that's kind of a big army showcase after everything's been kit bashed, after everything is ready to be painted. I am then going to do a series of videos of painting it, but once everything's kit bashed and ready to be painted, I'm going to show everything off, show what I did. I'm going to do that before priming, because then you'll be able to see a little bit easier, I think, what parts came from where, because a lot of the car kits are in white plastic. Most of the Warbirds and the Arizona kits are in this kind of tannish gray plastic, and then some stuff is in black, so you'll be able to see a little bit easier where certain things come from, if you're interested in that sort of thing. So that really does conclude this video. I worked really hard on this kit bash. It took a lot longer than I thought it was going to, so I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I know that I certainly enjoyed the process. I love kit bashing. I love being super creative and just gluing extra pieces on and customizing and so on. So I hope that you'll tune in for the next one. I really like this project. I really like the concept. I love dipping into this giant bin of parts and just pulling stuff out and throwing it together and new and weird, crazy combinations. I really like that. And I hope that you guys are enjoying it as well. It's kit bashing. What can I say? It's fun. Have you guys kit bashed your own orc stuff? Maybe whether it's jets or whether it's cars or trucks or anything. Have you kit bashed any of that stuff from pieces you had lying around or other kits? If you have, let me know in the comments below. I really would like to hear what you guys have done with your kit bashing, what you've done to be creative. I really enjoy seeing that stuff. And if you liked this video, found it useful in some way, consider subscribing and leaving a thumbs up and hitting that bell icon to get notifications for when a new video goes live. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.